On the outside, it looked like I had this great family. On the inside, we were all just a big, huge ball of dysfunction. My mom left us kids, all 5 of us, and my dad had to take care of us on top of working all of those jobs. And in the midst of that, I began to become sexually molested and abused, and that just set the stage for me to want to escape. By the time I was about 11 or 12, I started smoking hash. I was doing speed and ecstasy on top of all of the drugs. I never knew who Jesus was. I never knew who God was. The concept of church as a child was very foreign to me. I got pregnant when I was 17, and I was forced into an abortion. I joined the Navy, thinking that was going to be my saving grace and that was going to rescue me, and I was going to just live this great life out in the military and away from my family, and the geographics and the running away wasn't the answer. I remember it was Easter, and I went to an Easter service on base. When they showed a movie about Jesus going to the cross, I waited for everybody to leave because I knew I couldn't hold it in, and I wanted to just sob, and I fell on my face right there by myself, and they're crying and sobbing and crying and sobbing and just telling Jesus, I'm sorry you did that for me. And that's it. I got up, I walked out, I knew something happened in my heart. I went right back out into the world, and I started drinking and drugging myself into a stupor. I got out of the Navy, and I just went down a slippery slope from there. I got pregnant a couple more times. I got married. Unfortunately, we separated and divorced. I was basically left my husband and living in a crack house. Then the cops came and found me, and they said, we're throwing you in jail. And my mother-in-law came, and she was so good to me. And she came when the police had me, and they said, she's got to do time, you know. We're taking her to jail. And my mother-in-law said, I don't know, by the grace of God, she said, can you just give us a couple days to find something? And I said, you know, I don't care what it takes. I'm desperate. I don't ever want to get high. I don't want to get loaded. I don't want to get stoned. I don't want to drink. I don't want to drug. I don't want to die a junkie. There's got to be a better way. And this girl pulled me aside, and she said, Janet, you know, there is a better way, and his name's Jesus. And she said, you know what, I want you to ask him who he is. When you go to bed tonight, you need to get on your knees, and you need to talk to him and ask him if he's real to come into your life. And so that night, it was really awkward. I got on my knees, and I looked up, and I said, God, if you're real, because I've been everywhere to try to get help, and there's nobody that can help me, God. If you're real, will you help me? Will you help me, God? And he did. And I just knew he came into my heart right there. And I was excited. Right there, I was excited. And I knew that something was going to change in my life. And I knew that it was going to get better. I started having this amazing love affair with Jesus. I started to get into service, and my life started to change. One day we were having a prayer meeting, and an abortion topic came up, and they showed a picture of an abortion. When he revealed to me what I did, that I murdered my own child, I knew I had to ask God to forgive me for killing my child. I went home and I laid on my bed that day, and I said, God, I'm sorry. I said, Jesus, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I killed my child. And that's when the healing started to take place for me. And like healing my whole soul, my whole mind, and my whole spirit, it was just lifted, and I knew that God was going to do something amazing in my life. And when I look at the high price that Christ paid for me, it's absurd for me to think that I could hold unforgiveness in my heart toward anybody, knowing the sure mercies he's given me through all of my sinful life, and in his redemption. And God has redeemed my family and I. I have the most amazing relationship with my mother and my father and my brothers and my sister. None of them know the Lord yet, but they see my changed life and they're mesmerized by it. It blows them away. I just want to give God all the glory. He is so worthy, and you know, there's so much hope. in Jesus Christ, and He's the only way and the truth and the life. And you know what? He can change your life. Every day, I cannot praise God enough. People ask me, Janet, do you ever have a bad day? And yeah, I do. But you know what? When you really know God, when you really know God, when you know Jesus, when you have a personal, sold-out relationship with Him, you just go, God, you are in control. You are in charge. You are sovereign. You know the beginning from the end and the end from the beginning. You know all things, God. And so, God, you know what? I just got to praise you. I just want to praise you.